Derby County are rumoured to be interested in the signing of another forward. This forward comes in the form of League One talisman Harvey Knibbs, currently playing for financial troubled Reading. Reading have already lost a few people that are key to their club over the course of the last few weeks, with Ruben Sellers moving on to pastures new at Hull City. That could open the door to a whole host of players being on the chopping block this window. We know heading back to January last year that Derby County held a tiny bit of interest in the likes of Charlie Savage. Harvey Knibbs was a name on the board as well, and it looks as if this deal could be happening for Derby County. Now, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned for all of the latest Derby County news that will be heading your way across the course of this transfer window. This link comes from the journalist Darren O. Whitcoop. He's been fairly decent on transfers for us over the course of the last few years, especially if we go back to look at the likes of Corey Blackett-Taylor and Ibu Adams. That's why I take this as a reputable source. For those of you who seem to doubt when I say things, it never comes direct from me. It comes from sports journalists unless I state otherwise. Now, Harvey Knibbs is a player who I think could offer a wide range of talent to Derby County. At just 25 years old, he's got another 7, 8, 9 years left in the bank as a forward within the English Football League. Born on the 26th of April 1999, he can play anywhere in that forward line as well as in midfield, which for me is absolutely brilliant. Derby County really need a player that has that ability to be versatile across the pitch, whether it be in the front three, in the midfield four, or even within that 10 position, and all positions which he can play and has done across the course of his career. His contract does expire in 2026, which will make this deal possibly a cheap one, not just for the fact that Reading are financially troubled, but also based on his contract length and making sure they get something for him rather than a free transfer, because obviously we as Derby County fans know how important that can be when you're struggling financially as a club. Now, if we want to talk about his season so far, he's made 23 appearances for Reading across the course of League One, the EFL Trophy, FA Cup and EFL Cup, where so far he's scored 10 goals and got 2 assists in 1,750-ish minutes, which is absolutely tremendous for a player of Harvey Knibbs' quality. And for me, I certainly believe he could make that step up to the Championship. When we went down to League One, he was a player who I hoped we'd be able to get our hands on, but ultimately he ended up moving to Reading. He was more of a player who was available heading into the second season, and he was a player who, in my opinion, stood out massively in a Cambridge United side that was struggling down the bottom of League One. And in my opinion, he'd have been an excellent addition in one of those wide positions, or maybe even in our forward position. And in my point of view, I think he could have a massive impact in the Championship. He's shown the qualities that he's got. A lot of you will have known him and seen him from our time in League One, from when we've played against him. He was always a massive threat against Derby County, whichever team he's been at. So it is going to be interesting to see where he does end up. There are other clubs interested within the Championship and within League One, so that is where it gets a little bit spicy. Will it be a battle for wages or whatnot, which in my opinion Derby County will probably lose, because you know what Derby County are like at the moment. I'm not going to say we're scared to spend cash, but we don't like spending money. Now, across the course of his career, he came through at Aston Villa, where he made 60-odd appearances for the under-21s and under-18s, scoring 17 goals, collecting 4 assists. Then he moved over to Cambridge United, where he played 156 times, scoring 25 goals with 11 assists. And since being at Reading, he's made 76 appearances over the last couple of seasons, scoring 26 and assisting 8 goals. In my opinion, that's exactly what Derby County are searching for in one of these forward players, and exactly what Derby County need. Now, a lot of people will probably talk down this link because it involves a financial sum. I'm not going to say that Derby County won't do it, but I'm also not going to say we will do, because we've all seen what Derby County do, and especially in the January window, where it looks as if we just don't seem to get things done. Now, obviously, across the course of his career, he's played in a whole host of different leagues, whether that be League One, League Two. He's also played in PL2, the Under-18s Premier League, where he got to that final stage with Aston Villa, and obviously he's played in the Youth Cups as well, and he's made a really good name for himself in League One with 139 appearances, 28 goals and 17 assists. Really, really good player in my opinion, and one who Derby County should be looking for. And if we can get this deal across the line, I think it'll be absolutely tremendous for not just those forward players that we already have to add that extra bit of stability, that extra bit of bite up there, but also for Harvey Knibbs in himself, where he can prove that he can play at the next level. Because in my opinion, he's well and truly proven that in League One now, and at 25 years old, one good season in the Championship, 2 good seasons in the Championship, he could be finding his way onto a Premier League club. We've seen it before, may we see it again? It could potentially happen with Harvey Knibbs. Now, we spoke earlier about his versatility, and this positional graph that you're looking at right now just proves exactly what I'm saying. He's made over 40 appearances on the left wing, in centre forward, and in that number 10 role. In centre forward and left wing, he scored 16 goals apiece, with 6 assists at left wing, 2 in that centre forward position. If we go down to that number 10 role, it's 10 goals and 6 assists, but he's also made 33 appearances on that right wing, scoring 7 times, assisting 4, and he's also played in that second striker and central midfield role 18 and 13 times, with 4 goals in each position, 1 assist to 2 in that position as well. In my opinion, he fits absolutely perfectly, not just into that midfield role where Kenzo currently is, or Marcus Harness at the moment, but also into both of those winger positions. And as Derby County look to refresh their forward line with the likes of Mendes-Lang, Jackson and Barkes, and getting into their 30s, I think it's really important that we pick up a player like Harvey Knibbs, who can come in now, have an instant impact, but also be there in the summer for when players develop and younger players come through. You look at the likes of Cruz Allen, Niall McAndrew, Jaden Davison, players like that who all could be pushing up to the first team over the course of the next few years, where Harvey Knibbs could be here. You also then want to look at players who we're also looking at, the likes of Jadon Montour, the likes of a potential move for Ernest Poku over the course of the summer. If you haven't heard that name, there's a player profile coming out over the course of the next few days. He's a player who we're rumoured to be signing from AZ Alkmaar for the summer transfer window. Whether that comes to fruition or not, we'll have to wait and see, but it's a name that's been bandished to me a couple of times now, and it's one which I really think we need to follow up on at Derby County. Now back to Harvey Knibbs. What type of deal would this be? It would absolutely be a permanent deal. There is no way in hell Reading would loan him to a higher division unless there's a guaranteed future fee at the end of it. As mentioned just previously, it certainly adds to that forward depth for Derby County. And it's one of those for me where it's definitely going to be on the cheapish side because of the financial position of Reading right now and the situation they're in League One. Now, obviously, they're not a bad team in League One. They put in a really good performance the other day, in which I believe Harvey Knibbs scored. And that's something which Derby County can utilise going forward. We know he's a good player. Put a cheeky little sell-on clause in there of 10%. If we end up selling him on, and I think that would be a brilliant deal for Derby County, for Paul Warne and for Harvey Knibbs himself. Now, for Derby County to make this worthwhile, we have to bring him in as quickly as possible. Now, we've already heard from Don Dietrich today with Radio Derby that nothing really seems to be in the works early. He thinks it's going to be a little bit of a slow burner. And a lot of people are sort of saying, well, we need to get players out. Well, I just want to confirm, we do not, absolutely do not have to sell to bring players in. All we have to do is deregister someone who we currently have. The likes of a Connor Washington, who I don't believe has made a championship appearance this season, a Tom Barkhazen, a Joe Ward, a Tawanda Chiwa potentially heading back to Wolves. Players like that who we can straight away deregister if we need to, if we bring in a player like Harvey Knibbs. Now, ultimately, I believe Harvey Knibbs would be an absolutely wonderful signing for Derby County. Will Derby County make the deal happen? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County transfer news heading your way across the course of this January transfer window.